How do I tell you my story? How can I get you to listen, to really listen? I don't know how. I really don't. How can I get you to listen with your heart? Please, please, just listen. What does it mean to be alone? What does it mean to belong to no one, to have no one belong to you? Can you step into my shoes and walk with me just for a moment? Can you come with me and see the world through my eyes? I read the interview again today, the staged interview with Elder Wickman and the Apostle Dallin H. Oaks and the Public Affairs Office of the Church. If a young man thinks he's gay, what we're really saying to him is that there is simply no other way to go but to be celibate for the rest of his life if he doesn't feel any attraction to women. We expect celibacy of any person that is not married. Celibacy for the rest of my life. This is their answer, the great answer, the logical answer anyway. Such an easy answer, isn't it? It makes sense to the logical mind. It satisfies the logical problem. But what about my heart? What about my soul? For the rest of my life. But there is hope, or so I'm told, so Elder Wickman tells me. What we look forward to, and the great promise of the gospel, is that whatever our inclinations are here, whatever our shortcomings are here, whatever the hindrances to our enjoying a fullness of joy here, we have the Lord's assurance for every one of us that those in due course will be removed. In due course will be removed. What he means is that the Lord will cure all of our problems, make it all better, free us from all our obstacles after we're dead. What he means is that in order for gay Mormons to achieve a complete and fulfilled life, they have to wait until after they die. It's a paradox, really. I have to die in order to live. This answer, this final solution, is so easy to say, so easy to tell someone to live his or her life alone. It's as easy as telling someone to wash their hands or turn off a light switch or take out the trash. It's so easy to have logical answers. But what does it mean to go through life alone? What does it really mean when you are denied the loving, intimate companionship of a partner? I read the research again today, the studies about what happens to people when they live life alone. The higher rates of depression and poverty, the higher incidence of chronic illnesses and heart disease. But most of all, I read about a consequence upon which all the studies unanimously agree: premature death. These men and women die early. In their study of more than 250,000 Americans aged 45 and over, their first lot of results was clear. Unmarried men had about 60% higher mortality than married men. Unmarried women had about 45% higher mortality than married. It's an interesting fact that among both men and women, the married have lower death rates than the single, widowed, or divorced. Unmarried older adults are generally at a disadvantage compared with married persons in terms of economic security, but also in health areas. Unmarried persons are more likely to face prospects of lower income in retirement than married individuals. Research has found that married individuals live longer than unmarried persons, and that never married men have especially higher mortality rates. The death rate for people who were unmarried was significantly higher than it was for those who were married and living with their spouses. The death rate was strongest for those who had never married. There is an association between being never married and an increased risk of death. The effects of being married upon mortality occurs in a wide variety of cultures. Reports of similar effects have emerged from the USA, Great Britain, Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands. Being never married is associated with higher death rates for both men and women. Current marriage is associated with longer survival. Having never been married was the strongest predictor of premature mortality. Study after study, the list of research goes on and on and on. Please step into my shoes and walk with me a while. Abide with me just for a moment. If I am obedient to the counsel of my leaders, if I choose to follow this policy they require at my hands, I will live a life of loneliness. I will have a greater possibility of falling into poverty. I will suffer greater sickness and depression. My health will fall more quickly into decline, and in the end, I will be buried in an early grave. And this is not political rhetoric. This is not exaggeration. This is reality. This is my life. The requirement of celibacy literally sentences people to an early grave. Imposed celibacy is literally a premature death sentence. We are all God's children. We are all brothers and sisters. I'm wondering if you truly realize what you are asking your brothers and sisters to do, the sacrifice you are asking them, requiring them to make. I'm wondering who will take responsibility for the consequences of these sacrifices. When an organization requires a person to live in such a way that causes the person to die prematurely, then the organization participates in fostering the death of that individual. This is a simple, empirical fact. And this fact reflects another one. Those who support and sustain the leaders who create and impose such policies are consenting to the premature deaths of those individuals. All those in favor, you may do so with the raise of your right hand. All those opposed, if any, you may do so by the same sign. We tell our brothers and sisters we love them, even as we grab their coffins with an iron fist and force them down into an early grave. When we stand before God at the last judgment day, He will require an accounting of our stewardship on earth. When He asks you how you treated your gay brothers and sisters, and He will, what will you tell Him? What will you say? Be prepared to offer Him a good explanation, because your soul will hang in the balance. Your soul